When Prophet Muhammad was nearly 40, he loved thinking about the world and creations, and contemplated the things around him. He used to go to the ravines and hills to worship and disconnect from the people that did evil things around him, especially during the month of Ramadan. Then one night in Ramadan, Angel Gabriel descended with ayat from the Quran, where Prophet Muhammad would begin his legacy. When Angel Gabriel descended during Ramadan, Prophet Muhammad was ordered to recite the first verse of the Quran. He said that he did not learn what to recite. Angel Gabriel told him again to recite. Prophet Muhammad answered the same thing. Angel Gabriel then embraced the Prophet and released him. He gave him the first revelation of the Quran, which were the first 5 verses of Surah Al-Alaq. Prophet Muhammad ran to his wife Khadija and told her to cover him with a blanket, as he was shaking. He told her what had happened. Later, Prophet Muhammad learned about Islam. He preached to some of his family and friends, starting with his wife Khadija. He told his cousin Ali ibn Abi Talib and his friends Abu Bakr and Zayd ibn Haritha. More of his family and friends followed them into Islam, but the Prophet wanted to wait until more people became Muslims before they announced it publicly, so that they would have strength. Makkah was a place where people went to worship their deities, as it had the Kaaba and all of the deities inside, so Prophet Muhammad had to preach secretly. The small group used to meet in Dar al-Arqam ibn Abi al-Arqam. Prophet Muhammad used to teach them secretly until they became 40 people in total, the last one being Umar ibn al-Khattab. After 3 years of preaching secretly, a verse from the Quran was delivered to the Prophet ordering him to publicly preach Islam. Prophet Muhammad went on top of Safa, a mountain in Mecca, and called all of the tribes in Mecca. They came, and the Prophet introduced Islam. Abu Lahab cursed him and said that he was wasting their time and trying to destroy their lifestyle. The wife of Abu Lahab, Jamil, heard about the surah. She addressed Abu Bakr and threatened to harm the Prophet. Once, one of the blasphemers found the Prophet praying in front of the Kaaba. He took the clothes of the Prophet and strangled him. Due to Quraysh's constant brutality towards the Muslims, the Prophet told his followers to disperse into different areas on earth, because God will reunite them. They asked him where to go, and the Prophet said Abyssinia, because their king was fair and did not misjudge anyone. His name was Asham al-Najashi. So 5 women and 22 men left Mecca to Abyssinia. This was the first hijrah in Islam. The king of Abyssinia provided them safety, allowing them to live in peace. Later, some of the Muslims returned to Mecca and Quraysh tortured them. This time they gathered 82 men and 18 women and returned to Abyssinia. When Quraysh found out, they sent 2 men, Amr ibn al-As and Abdullah ibn Abi Rabi'a, with a gift to the king and his priests, asking him to return the Muslims to Quraysh. The king refused to exile the Muslims until he heard their story. Therefore, the Muslims sent Jafar ibn Abi Talib to speak to the king, upon which the king was convinced to allow the Muslims to remain in Abyssinia and live safely. Quraysh messengers left empty-handed and returned to Quraysh. When Quraysh received the news of the king of Abyssinia backing the Muslims, they were outraged. They wrote a scroll in the Kaaba boycotting Bani Hashim, where they would not aid them or help them unless they surrendered Prophet Muhammad. Bani Hashim refused to abide and had to live in Shi'ab Abi Talib, a secluded place for 3 years. The Prophet had a revelation that the proclamation in the Kaaba was eaten by insects, except for the name of Allah. The Prophet told Abu Talib, who informed his people. Once they checked, they were surprised to see that it was exactly as the revelation had said, so they stopped the boycott. This was during the 10th year of the prophethood. Khadija and Abu Talib died in the year of sorrow. Abu Talib became sick and died. Then 2 months later, the Honorable Lady Khadija died at the age of 65. Our Prophet was sad, but knew that she would be one of the highest ranking women in Islam. She was buried in Al-Hajun, a mountain in Mecca. After the death of Abu Talib, Quraysh increased their torture towards the Prophet and his followers, since Abu Talib used to protect him. Therefore, the Prophet traveled with Zayd ibn Haritha to At-Ta'if to convert Thaqif to Islam so they would back him up against Quraysh. He sat with the leaders of their tribe and they did not believe him. He tried preaching to all of their noblemen who also did not comply, and thought that the Prophet would convert their sons and children to Islam. So they asked their slaves and workers to form 2 lines where the Prophet would leave their town, and brutally threw stones at him until his legs bled. Zayd ibn Haritha tried to protect him, but his head bled too. After a long time, the Muslims returned to Mecca. The Aus and the Khazraj lived in Medina and came to visit the Kaaba, where the Prophet preached to them and they became the Muslims known as Al-Ansar. They went back to Al-Medina, converting more people into Islam. A year later, they sent 5 Muslims from Al-Ansar, 7 more from Al-Aus and Khazraj to Al-Aqaba, where they met the Prophet. This was known as the first pledge of Al-Aqaba. They all loved the Prophet and promised to aid him. They asked for a teacher to teach them the Quran in Medina, so the Prophet sent Mus'ab ibn Umair. The following year, 70 men and 2 women from Medina met the Prophet at Al-Aqaba again, forming a second pledge. They returned to Al-Medina where Islam had spread. When Prophet Muhammad was 51 years old, Allah blessed him with a magnificent honor and experience. He went on a night journey both body and soul, which is confirmed by the Quran and Hadith. Angel Gabriel brought Al-Buraq to him. Al-Buraq is one of the animals of paradise. The Prophet rode behind Angel Gabriel on Al-Buraq and passed by Al-Medina. The Prophet descended and prayed. Then he passed by Madian, the city of Prophet Shu'aib, and prayed 2 rak'ahs there. Then he reached mountain Sina and prayed 2 rak'ahs there. They reached Beit Lahem, the birthplace of Prophet Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad prayed 2 rak'ahs. They reached Jerusalem, and the Prophet tied Al-Buraq to the ring that the other prophets had used. Then he entered Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, the Prophet Adam built 40 years after he built Al-Kaaba. On the night of the journey, Allah gathered all of the prophets from Adam to Jesus to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Prophet Muhammad led them as their Imam in prayer. During this nice journey on the Prophet's way to Bayt al-Maqdis, Prophet Muhammad saw many unusual things. Allah had created signs that indicated the extreme goodness of some deeds and the extreme badness of others. Prophet Muhammad was at Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, and he rose up to the heavens. He ascended the stairs called Al-Mirqa. Angel Gabriel was asked, "Who are you?" Angel Gabriel answered, "Gabriel." He was asked, "Who is with you?" Angel Gabriel answered, "Muhammad." He was asked again, "Was he called for?" Angel Gabriel answered, "He was called for." The first heaven was opened for Prophet Muhammad, where he saw Prophet Adam. Prophet Adam supplicated for Prophet Muhammad. Angel Gabriel and Prophet Muhammad ascended to the second heaven. Angel Gabriel was asked the same set of questions and answered the same set of answers. The second heaven was then opened for them. Prophet Muhammad saw the cousins Jesus, son of Maryam, and Yahya, son of Zakaria. They welcomed him and supplicated for him. Then they ascended to the third heaven. Angel Gabriel was asked for admittance as before. The third heaven was opened for them. There Prophet Muhammad saw Yusuf, who was given great beauty. He welcomed him and supplicated for him. Then Angel Gabriel and Prophet Muhammad raised to the fourth heaven. The fourth heaven opened for them, and Prophet Muhammad saw Idris. He greeted him and supplicated for him. Then Angel Gabriel and Prophet Muhammad ascended to the fifth heaven. They were again asked for admittance. The fifth heaven was opened for them, and Prophet Muhammad saw Harun, the brother of Moses. He welcomed him and supplicated for him. Then Angel Gabriel and Prophet Muhammad ascended to the sixth heaven. Angel Gabriel asked for admittance. The sixth heaven was opened, and Prophet Muhammad saw Moses. He greeted him and supplicated for him. Then Angel Gabriel and Prophet Muhammad raised to the seventh heaven and the last heaven. Prophet Muhammad saw Ibrahim leaning against Al-Baytul Mu'ammar, where 70,000 angels enter every day, and after they leave it, they never return to it. Seeing that now Al-Medina was a safe place and the Prophet's followers in Mecca were being tortured by Quraysh, his followers asked the Prophet for permission to immigrate to Al-Medina. The Prophet allowed the Muslims to immigrate gradually. The noblemen of Quraysh were planning to kill the Prophet and spread his blood over the tribes so that Bani Hashim would not be able to get revenge. They wanted to kill him in his sleep but found Ali ibn Abi Talib in his place. The Prophet had ordered him to sleep in his place. A miracle occurred since Allah covered the blasphemers' eyes from seeing the Prophet as he passed by them, leaving to Al-Medina with Abu Bakr. When the Prophet and Abu Bakr got to Al-Medina, they were greeted by many songs. The people of Al-Medina raced to the Prophet, offering their home as a place for the Prophet to stay.